Hey everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Deurklink Megapark. Now, in the last few episodes, I focused on this half of the park over here. And in this episode, I want to focus on an area that's a bit closer to the entrance. And that's this area over here, where we have several kids' rides. Now, this area of the park is actually always very empty. These rides barely attract any guests. And I think we can definitely make this area look a little bit more appealing. Now, there's a few things that I want to do. Of course, back then I didn't know how to shoestring, and now I do. And of course, we don't have the ride limit anymore. So I definitely want to change this merry-go-round to a shoestring merry-go-round. Just for fun, actually. We can probably move this coaster a bit, because right now over here we have all this unused space. I think that's a bit of a waste. So if we just move this coaster a few tiles to this side and also probably change the layout a bit to make it more compact, then we can add a new ride over here. I think this area could use an extra ride. Now I think I will also make this maze look a little bit more appealing. We can probably do some stuff here with flowers. And yeah, just gonna do some small bits and bobs everywhere around this area. Anyway, what I'm going to start with is moving this coaster and also changing the layout a bit to make it a bit more compact. And then we will be able to make better use of the space we have over here. Okay, I redid the layout of the Happy Tree Friends coaster. It's still the same coaster, so it still has all its old stats, like number of customers. Well, it wasn't built 9 years ago. I probably used the cheat for renewing all rides at some point. Yeah, I think it looks 100 times better than the previous layout, and I think the decorations also look much nicer than they did. So yeah, I'm super happy with how the ride looks now. And I've made so much space here that I can actually fit one of my favorite shoestring rides to build here, which is a Starflyer. So if you don't know what Starflyer is, it's one of those swing rides which actually moves up on a big tower. So yeah, you'll be suspended in the sky going around. Now, to be fair, I've been on Starflyer once, and these rides are pretty boring. But you do get a great view of the surroundings. So that's mostly what these rides are all about. Anyway, yeah, I will just build one of these rides right here. And maybe I'll mess with the stats a little bit so we actually see some guests ride the Starflyer. And that would also immediately attract some more people to this area. Alright, the Starflyer is now completed. I gave it quite a long queue since this ride has a good capacity. And it's nice to see that a lot of guests are actually heading for the ride. Now, I did give it quite a high excitement, but that's of course because it's a shoestring ride. The stats would have been terrible and guests wouldn't ride it. And the way I did it now, we will see some more guests walking in this area. So I think it's nice to not have this area be look like a deserted landscape. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is trying to make this maze look a little bit nicer. I'll add some flowers here in the middle so that the text that's in here pops out a bit more. And maybe I'll place some foliage around the edges. Okay, it's a small change, but I think it improves the ride a lot. So you can see these flowers that I added. Now, originally I put them a little bit higher, but then the text would not really be readable. So now I put the flowers a bit lower in these hedges. And I think that makes this text pop out a little bit more. Now I also put some different foliage around the ride, put some of these palm trees around it, some extra fences, and I improved this entrance a little bit. So I think that makes this maze look a lot nicer. Now with the maze taken care of, I want to focus my attention on this merry-go-round. Nobody seems to be riding it. I'm going to change this merry-go-round into a shoestring ride. I think it will look nice if it uses up a bit more of the available space here. Okay, I think this is a big improvement to the merry-go-round. It's a bit larger this way. Guests still don't want to ride it, probably because the intensity is so low. But I do think it looks nicer in this area now. I think I've already improved this area by a lot. Now, I'm not done yet. There's 2 more things that I want to do in this episode. And maybe I'll find more. That's what usually happens. Anyway, this playset now, guests don't go on it right now. And I actually want guests to be able to ride it. So what I think I will do is actually change it into a mini golf ride. I will only give it 1 invisible mini golf hole, so guests will enter it and then walk through it. But other than that, it's not actually meant to be used as a mini golf. But yeah, let's see if I can make this work. Okay, the play castle can now be ridden by the guests. Can be climbed by the guests, I should say. Now I hit a mini golf hole here in the middle. And the reason I did that is because that allows more guests to be on the ride at the same time. As soon as the guest clears the first mini golf hole, then the next guest is able to enter the ride. So yeah, I tried to put it a little bit out of sight, so yeah, can only really be seen from this angle and a little bit. After that, the guests just walk around here and then they climb up the ride. And finally here at the end, yeah, I put a steep track piece, and that actually the guest teleports through it and actually kind of looks like it's like he slides down. So I think that's a really nice effect. So this tends to happen when you put steep track elements on mini golf. The guests just teleport through most elements that the mini golf normally cannot have. But yeah, with that, I think this play castle is a lot nicer, and at least it's more fun to watch, as long as guests keep riding it, of course. Okay, then there's just one final thing that I want to add to this area, and that's something that will hopefully attract some more people to it. That's that I want to have some more food and drinks for sale in this area. I think it would be nice for the parents to have a place where they can sit down and drink a cup of coffee while their kids go around and play. So that's what I will add next. Alright, I'm no longer going to build in this area. With this last addition to the area, I think it's now more complete. So now the guests have a place where they can get some coffee and some cookies or some cake. So this one I called cake for the parents. This one called coffee for the parents. Now, of course, this game doesn't have children and parents, but that doesn't really matter. It's all just the perception. Okay, something which I still want to do is add some more entertainers to this area, and I will name them after several more of my patrons. Alright, I've added 4 more patrons to the park. 3 are roaming around here, because I think it would make sense for a kids area to have some people in animal costumes walking around. And I also put an entertainer here on top of the Starflyer. I think that's a really nice spot. Alright, let's do a quick overview of the changes that were made in this episode. First I moved this coaster and I changed the layout. It's much more compact now, and also with the ground texture changes, foliage changes, I think it looks much more welcoming. Over here I made this Starflyer ride. I think it looks pretty imposing, and yeah, it's always nice to have another larger ride around here. Quite a landmark, I think. Now over here, this merry-go-round, I changed it into a shoestring ride. Now, not too many guests sadly seem to be riding it, but yeah, that's just how it is. For the maze, I gave it some flowers in the middle, also change the foliage around it a little bit. Again, I think it's a huge improvement. Then for this play castle, guests can now actually ride it if they choose to do so. Most of them still walk by this ride, probably since it has terrible stats. I could probably do something about it. But yeah, every now and then you will see a guest actually go on this play castle. And then at the end they will it will look like they slide down. Here you can see another guest entering the ride. And then finally I added this little restaurant where guests can get some coffee or cake. Now, with that said, I should probably also quickly add a toilet to this area, and I will also quickly change out this fence for some more of this wooden fence, or else it will look weird if this is the only place where this kind of fence is used. I always just notice something right at the end of an episode. Anyway, that's going to be all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'm really happy with how this area close to the entrance turned out. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please gently tap that like button, it would really help out my channel. And if you want to see more of these videos, you can of course always subscribe. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.